Hello Pickles, and welcome to another how-to, and this is how to make a thumbnail for your YouTube video. Yes, something slightly different, and you can see my messy screen there. This was from Alfie Steele. He contacted me on my Discord and basically just said, I know this is a big ask, but sometime could you make a video on how you make your thumbnails? So instead of doing a comment of the last episode, we'll take this as comment of the last episode. So Alfie Steele, you've made a comment of the last episode, or as this is, and here's your tutorial basically. So I'll crack right on with it. So what I've done is I use a program called GIMP, which is here on the screen here. As you can see, I've got quite a lot of programs and everything going on. So GIMP, you can get, just type in GIMP in Google and it will come up here and you can download. It's free editing software. It's a bit like Photoshop but a lot more basic, and it is got a bit of a learning curve, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I enjoy it. So there we go. So I'll get rid of that there and we'll bring GIMP up. So here's the program that I use, and I'll quickly talk you through one of the files, most recent ones I've done. So here's the last episode I did for the woodland house, as you can see there. So let's take that, say none. Right, so basically you've got layers along the side, and it's a lot like Photoshop, as I said before. And if I take all these off, this is how your board is. And what I've done is I have this set up, and this is what I use every time just as a template. So I made this curve using the tools on the side here, and I just drag in a screenshot from Minecraft, and I've also made images in the side here. So here's the little time egg timer, which I use for a time lapse. I also have a tutorial one, which is a little book, and I also have a let's play one, which is like a little play button. So that's how I do that. I've just dragged them into this workboard here, and it just makes it easier for me. So everything's already set up, and I've also got my logo. Where have I got that? I've forgotten it now. There it is there. So that's my logo. So that's already there. So all I tend to do now is literally I will change the background picture, which would be a screenshot of whatever I want to have on there. And then I also change the text as well. So I can add the effects there and stuff like that. I'm not going to go into too much detail on how to do the effects, but I might quickly go through how to do a board, but not as in-depth as this. So if we go to new, so it'll go to new here in the top corner. It tells you your width and height. You want that to be basically the size, screen resolution. So that's 1920 by 1080. Hit OK, and then that gives you a blank board and background here. So these are your layers. Pretty much what I will do is go right click on here, go to new layer, and have a new layer. We'll just call this whatever it comes up as, so layer there. So that's what that is, and that's our layer there. I will come into here and we'll have, where we're going, the image, go to guides and new guide, and I'll have one horizontal image again, new guide, two horizontal, and then we just drag those using the move button up here in the corner, and I will drag those just so that they give me a border, an image again, guidelines, and we will then go for two verticals. That's okay, and another one. And I tend to measure these out, and with the guidelines you can, here it says position, you can choose position. So I could have done 10, and then for the 1920 it would be, the next one would be 1910. So that gets us the exact position in there. But I'm just going to do this roughly now for the tutorial. That goes like that. We can then choose our rectangular square. So if you hold left button on here, it gives you an option of ellipse and rectangle, which then gives us a selection. And then we can go up into select and choose invert, so it changes it to the outside, as you can see in this bit here. And we'll choose a color from here, and we'll just go with green, which is what I used to do. I used to have the green borders. Bucket, and then you can fill in the outside there, so that gives you a border. But like I say, with the other one over here, I've done it a bit more elaborate. I kind of added bits and pieces to make it more stylized, just to make it a bit more catchy. But that gives you your border. I'll open up the Minecraft folder here, and we'll go to screenshots. I will then select one of the screenshots, we can just grab anything, can't we? So if we go for, I'll go for my ATST there. So grab that. So this, because the way I have Minecraft, it's shrunk the window down. So it's not fitting the whole of the 1080 by 1920. So I right click on here, scale layer, split that because it's got the 1920, see 1017 there, change it to 1080 and it will stretch it. And then I'll grab that layer and put it behind the border. And that does that. So that puts that behind the border, and as you can see, you've got your image with the border. And then you can grab your text tool, stretch the text onto there, and then we can write AT-ST build, or whatever we want the title to be. And we have that. You see it's got fixed down here in the corner. I change that to dynamic. Not that we're going to be using this as the text thing. Click on the move button again, it kind of brings that up. We now right click onto here, and this is how I do it. Text to path. I then right click again, new layer, and we'll call this text 1, and that was spelled incorrectly. There we go, never mind. And we'll make another layer, and we will call that text 2, and you'll see why in a minute. So we've right clicked on there and put text to path. We then click on text 1, go to paths here, right click on the ATST and add to selection. So that gives us, basically it's selected the outline of all the lettering there. We then go back to layers, make sure we're on text 1, and then what I do is I left click on here, and it brings up the double selection. I've got gradient there, and again this is how I do it because I want to put a gradient on. You can just leave it as the color that it is, or whatever color you choose. I then come into here and grab my picker tool, and or we'll just choose a gradient actually. So what we'll do is we'll go from brown, and we want the gradient to go from brown to tan. Probably not colors that you really want to do. In fact, I'm going to change that because they are really bad colors. So we're going to go through here, and we can choose, it's like a vibrant orange, shall we say, or a yellowy orange there for our first color. And our secondary color, we're going to go with like a deep red. There we go. So okay, and now we've got our gradient. We can then left click there, drag it across, and as you can see, it puts our gradient on there. So we've got that, click our move thing, and it holds it there and says okay. That's how I make everything okay. I just click on the move thing. We then want to go to text 2 in our layers selection. We then come up to select, go down to grow, and it's already got it here. We're growing the selection by 5 pixels. Press OK, and as you can see, the selection has extended and got bigger. We then click on the white and black box, or black and white box here, which then resets this color palette. Hold down left on here and get our fill bucket again. Place it inside that selection. Click on that, and as you can see, it's gone black. That's because my text 2 is above my text 1. So if I drag that down and behind it, that now gives us a border. And that kind of, I think that helps with making your lettering stand out. And I'll click none there, so it's unselected everything. And as you can see, it's also put a border around here because I still had that selected. So what I should have done was gone select none and reset all that. But that's not bad. I quite like having the black border in there. And there you have the black border. And then you can add in any other bits and pieces, like added imagery that you've done. Like I've got my logo, which I kind of have as a watermark, and I've got the logo of the. If we come back to the original one, I've got my stamp here for Let's Play, but it would be like time lapse there, so that shows that it's a time lapse and helps people understand, looking at the thumbnail, what they've got to do. And that, in a nutshell, is pretty much how I do my thumbnails. There isn't really much else to say. I can't really go into a full-length tutorial on how to use GIMP. It's kind of just how I've learned to do it. I've never used it before doing YouTube, and I kind of just learned by Googling something I needed to do, like putting the black bored around the letters, I just googled it basically just to find out how to do it. But I really hope that helps you, Alfie Steele, and anyone else that's watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed this how-to. As always, you can find me on Instagram at BobertPickle, and I also have a Discord, and all the links will be in the description below. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up. If you really enjoyed it, hit that sub button. I'm so close to 1,000 subs. It's, yeah, I can't wait. I'm getting so excited. It's that one milestone that everybody's waiting for, really, is to hit the first 1,000. And I'm just so grateful for all of you that have subscribed, and all of you that view the videos, really. Even the ones that haven't subscribed, I still enjoy the fact that you're watching them. Anyway, I'm going to say ciao for now, and I'll see you in the next one.